Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Top 3 show. Now the first harness that you buy is likely to last you for years, but what happens when you get through that beginner phase and start looking at ways to upgrade your gear to match your new level of skill? Well, today we're looking at our top 3 intermediate harnesses. This is not a sponsored video. We've simply used our own experience, looked at shop sales and talked to you guys to come up with this list, and it's in no particular order. Get any one of the harnesses we chat about today and you're going to be happy. Okay, so what makes an intermediate harness and why would you upgrade in the first place? Well, beginner harnesses tend to be fairly inexpensive. They're very well padded, but that extra padding really adds to the bulk. But they do have a lot of features like leg and waist adjustability, and the reason for that is that it's trying to cover lots of different aspects of climbing. As you progress, you're going to get better and start climbing harder climbs, and you're going to want to change some of your equipment. Intermediate harnesses are lighter, they're more streamlined, and they're more refined for the type of climbing that you want to do. Now, the obvious argument is just buy an intermediate harness right from the beginning, but they have less options than beginner harnesses. For example, the solution from BD we'll chat about in a second, although it's lighter, it doesn't have adjustable leg loops, while the Momentum, which is BD's beginner harness, does. So that allows you to go mountaineering, put on extra layers. If you just went for an intermediate harness, you might lose out on different types of our climbing sport that you want to try. So I recommend starting with a beginner harness to give yourself lots of options. But you're through that phase. Where are you going to look at? Well, a good place to start is the Camp CR4. The Camp CR4 is aimed squarely at the do-everything category of climbing, but it comes with a lovely finish and it's lightweight at 380 grams. It uses thermoformed padding on the waist and leg loops, which helps with the comfort, but it's the versatility and adjustment of those leg loops and the whole harness which is particularly impressive. The harness is unisex and comes in just 2 sizes, extra small to medium and medium to extra large. There are loads of adjustment options with leg loop buckles and 2 waist adjustment buckles. This allows for a wide range of sizes and layers of clothing. You can make it bigger for bulky Gore-Tex or wear less for a summer's day climbing. Regardless, the CR4 will fit. There are 4 large gear loops which you can load up with gear, but the harness still feels streamlined. It won't get in the way when you're red pointing with no gear on the harness. The CR4 is a really good all-round harness, and in fact I'd almost recommend it for a beginner's harness as well. It just does everything. Those big gear loops means you can load it with gear, and the adjustability, that is key. You can go from climbing, for example, up in Chamonix with a massive Gore-Tex jacket on and just adjust it to make it bigger, head down to the sunny valley, take it off, put a t-shirt on, adjust it again, and you've got a harness that does multiple things. It's very impressive. Of course, you do lose a bit of comfort with that. It is much thinner to achieve that lighter weight, but padding isn't really something you should be thinking about with an intermediate harness. Okay, that's one down. Now let's look at a new classic, if that makes sense, the Bial Ghost. When Bial first offered their Ghost, it was one of the only reasonably priced yet super lightweight specific harnesses on the market. It still continues that quality and it weighs only 250 grams. This is a harness for a keen sport climber who have started to try projects at their limit. The harness has been tweaked to make it as unobtrusive as possible. There's no leg adjustment, although there is of course on the waist. The loops use web core technology, which distributes pressure evenly on the hips and thighs. The Ghost has 2 types of gear loops. Larger, semi-rigid ones at the front, and lower profile, smaller, floppy ones at the back. It's a great setup for taking 12 or a few more quick draws, but those back loops are a bit minimal for a trad rack. We have an amazingly good price on the Ghost, only around €77 on the EpicTV shop. You can also buy it in special Olympic colours with national flags and a different colour scheme. The Ghost is a great way of trying out lightweight harnesses without making a massive financial commitment. For me, I used the Ghost mainly for mountaineering actually, just because it was so low profile. I could crack it on for ridge bashing or even ski mountaineering and I wouldn't notice it was there. Okay, so the final harness on this video is the Black Diamond Solution. The Black Diamond Solution also comes as a special Alex Honnold signature item. It's exactly the same as the normal Solution, apart from a different colour scheme and his signature on the leg loops. The Solution comes in a men and women's versions and it's around €70 on the EpicTV shop. It's another stripped back harness aimed at performance over comfort, although the weight is more similar to the CR4 at 330 grams. It uses BD's own Fusion Comfort technology, which is designed to eliminate pressure points. It's going to be pretty comfortable for working a route without getting in the way of your movements. It has an adjustable waist loop and 4 full-sized semi-rigid gear loops. On the face of it, there's not that much to talk about with the BD Solution. It's all about how this product feels in your hand and when you're wearing it. It absolutely oozes quality and you know that this thing is going to last you a very long time. It's certainly aimed more at the sport climbing spectrum of things, although with those 4 big gear loops, you trad climbers out there are going to enjoy this as well. Okay, so to sum things up a little bit, I think the CR4 is probably the best all-rounder on this test. It just does everything and packs down really small. The BD Ghost, that fast and light option, mountaineering and super hard red point sends, although that lightweight and the material they use make it a little bit susceptible to some abrasions from rock, so you have to be more careful with the Ghost than the other two. And finally, the Solution, that's a sport climbing machine, isn't it? And it is nice and comfortable, and you can just see with the padding on the waist harness what I mean by that. It's great if you're more into that sport climbing side, although, as I said, trad climbers keep an eye on this. Okay, that's our top 3 upgradable intermediate harnesses. Of course, there are loads on the market, so do let us know in the description below what your favourite is. And if you want to look at links and buy some of these products, well, you can find the EpicTV shop down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.